They are continuing with their efforts in order to take care of their compatriots who are leaving the Ukrainian territory. We would like to thank as well the journalists that are covering audaciously the conflict as well as defending the freedom of press of the whole world. We have participated in the effort in the framework of NATO to protect our allies in Europe, reinforcing our military presence in the Baltic area and in the region. A number of French soldiers have arrived in Romania as well. There are sanctions against the political figures of Russia, and there will be more of those. They will be intensified with the objective of obtaining a stop to the combat.
Nous ne sommes pas en guerre contre la Russie.
Nevertheless, we are not at war with Russia.
Le grand peuple européen, qui est le peuple russe.
We have things in common with the Russian people, the people that have sacrificed so much during the Second World War. We are today on the side of all of the Russians that do not agree to this war and that defend courageously the peace and that let everyone know about it. That is why I am talking incessantly with the President of Ukraine, but I will remain in contact as much as I can and as much as it is needed with President Putin, so that we will be able to convince him to renounce the weapons, to retake negotiations and to avoid the contagion of this conflict as much as possible.
The
balance in our continent, as many of the aspects of our everyday life have been changed by this war. There will be even more profound changes in the next few months. Europe will be changed. I'll speak about that later. Hundreds of thousands of refugees are being welcomed and will be welcomed in Europe, and France will take part in that. I would like to thank our cities, our villages that have begun to mobilize. I would like to thank the associations who are working to welcome them in the best conditions. We are organizing ourselves and we are going to take care of those who arrive in our land in order to protect them. France will also participate in protecting the children that have been separated from their parents, and will work together with the associations and non-governmental associations and organizations in that country and in our country as well. Our agriculture, our industry, many of the economic sectors are suffering and will be suffering because perhaps they depend upon the imports from Russia or Ukraine, or perhaps because they export to those countries. Our growth will be affected. There is no doubt. The prices of raw materials, of oil, will have consequences on the economy. The heating will be more expensive. Many things will see their prices go up. There will be economic and social repercussions, but we want to protect you. We are going to look for other providers, other channels, economically speaking, and that is why I have been speaking with my colleagues in the United States. In Europe, we will provide responses adapted to the change in the economic flows and to the increase in prices. And I have requested from the Prime Minister to create a resilience economic and social program in order to respond to all of these difficulties. But let's be realistic. These events will not only have consequences in the short term, they are a signal of a change. War in Europe is no more history. It is here with us. Democracy is not considered anymore an uncontestable regime. It is being contested in front of our eyes. We will have to be courageous at every point in time. So in this point, we need to respond with historical decisions. Our country will broaden the investment in defense and will continue with a strategy of independence and investment in the economy, research and innovation, which was already reinforced at the time of the pandemic. Europe is demonstrating, as it has in the last few months, a unity which is impressive. Now it has to accept to pay the price of peace, of liberty, of democracy. It has to invest more, to depend less on other continents, and to be able to decide by itself. It needs to be more sovereign, a more powerful entity. We cannot depend on others to be healthier or to be wealthier. We need to promote a new economic model based on independence and progress. Energy, we cannot depend on others for that, especially on Russian gas, in order to have a transport or heating. That is why we have decided to develop renewable energies and to build nuclear reactors, and I will defend a European energy independence. We cannot depend on others in order to defend ourselves by land, by sea, in the air, in the space or cyberspace. Our European defense has to move on to a new stage. On the 10th and 11th, I will meet the heads of state and government of Europe in a summit that will have to decide upon those things. Europe has shown unity and determination. It has gone into a new era. We need to continue.
Mes chers compatriotes,
Dear compatriots,
la guerre en Ukraine marque une rupture pour notre continent.
The war in Ukraine is a rupture in our continent and our generation. I know how concerned you are, and legitimately so. We will have to make decisions, and I will, of course, tell you about them. This has perturbed our democracy and the presidential campaign that should be at the moment. This campaign that will allow for a democratic dialogue, which is important for the nation. But that doesn't mean that we won't be focused on the essential things. I know that I can count on you. I know that you care for liberty, equality, and fraternity, the place of France in the world. I will always defend them. I will always uphold them for you. Vive la République. Vive la France.